Welcome back to Quick Business Tips. I'm Jennifer Swineford with Limitless Impact Agency. Last week, we talked about 3 different pillars that you can use to transform your marketing from a huge expense into a money-making asset. And one of those pillars was message transformation. Now, I'll give you a really quick example from a home remodeler. The before message was, with 40 years of experience, we provide industry-leading products. And unfortunately, that's not a really compelling reason to work with this company. When we change their marketing message to, a remodel shouldn't be a source of stress. You deserve peace of mind. They got a lot better results. So let me ask you a question. When you heard that transformation from the first, which was kind of womp womp, to the second, which maybe resonated more with their target audience, did you find yourself nodding along, thinking, yeah, I can see how that's better. I know I should be doing something like that. But then you kind of get stuck and your brain just defaults back to listing all your credentials, your 12-step process, or the years of experience, all the accreditations, the training, like that kind of thing. Then you are just like every other smart, capable business leader that I've come across. We all know that we should talk about emotions and benefits of our services, but we almost all default back to our credentials and our experience and features of our service. So in this episode, I want to give you a framework to finally nail this. We're going to dive deep into the psychology of why we get stuck talking about all of the features and credentials. And I'm going to give you what you need to get unstuck, a simple 3-step framework to build a message that connects with your target audience and converts more sales. So first, let's talk about the reason why we typically talk about features instead of benefits. Part of it is because we have the curse of knowledge. We are so deep in the weeds in our own businesses and so proud of how we go about getting the results, whether it's a 12-step process or a more complex methodology, years of training that we've gone through. We can't even imagine why the customer wouldn't want to hear about all of these things. We think the how we get results is the valuable part of what makes us different, but the client just wants to know what. What do you do? What results can you get me? How will I feel when I get there? But the real mental block is far deeper than that. It's not logical, it's emotional. And for most of us, it boils down to imposter syndrome. When you talk about your features, your credentials, number of years of experience, it feels very safe. It feels like something that you are able to prove. 40 years of experience is a fact. It's objective. And it becomes a shield that we hold up to sort of protect ourselves. But when we say something like, our remodel process is so stress-free that you will have peace of mind throughout the process. This is a promise. This is subjective. And that can oftentimes scare people to the point where they won't say it because nobody wants to sound fluffy or salesy. And deep down, we're afraid that if we promise a feeling like peace of mind, confidence, clarity, and the client doesn't experience that feeling, then we become a fraud. So we use the features, the 40 years of experience, the credentials, and hide behind them because they are objective, they are provable, they are factual. And it keeps us from feeling like an imposter. When we boil all of this down, it comes down to one thing. We're afraid of being vulnerable. We are afraid of devaluing the years of training and experience that we put into being who we are by simplifying our message to peace of mind, clarity. So we list our credentials and hope that someone is impressed enough by them to purchase from us. So how do we go about removing this shield of features and instead leaning more into these benefits? How do we get over the fear of being labeled a fraud and really start talking about what we can do for a client on an emotional level? The first thing that needs to happen is we need to just make a mental shift. This is something that I work with my clients all the time, and it changes everything. You ready for this? You are not responsible for your clients' results. You are only responsible for delivering the process. So this remodeling company, if they deliver high level of communication, line item proposals, a well-detailed timeline, daily phone calls updating the homeowner. And because of things completely outside of their control, the homeowner is still highly stressed and has no peace of mind during the home remodel. That doesn't fall on the remodeler. The remodeler did everything that they needed to do to give the homeowner peace of mind. And if the homeowner added their own drama and their own stress to the process, that doesn't fall on them. When you believe that you are not responsible for results, you are responsible for delivering your process, your product, your service, you become the guide, the trusted expert, and your client becomes the rock star in their own story. So you give your client the map, the tools, the wisdom, but you can't do the work for them. You can't walk the path for them. They still have to take their own action. And when you really absorb this and connect with it and internalize it, then you are set free from feeling like you are responsible for always getting every benefit for every client that you work with. So you can promise peace of mind because that is the benefit that you provide when your process is used properly. I am able to promise clarity because that's what my framework delivers. I provide the path, and if you walk that path, you will get the results that I promise. Now, once you really embrace this, then you can no longer be afraid of being a fraud. You instead step into the role of a competent expert, and the marketing can shift from look at how smart I am and how many credentials I have, how many years of experience, and instead you become the expert that says, I see you, I understand your problem, and I have a simple, clear solution to help you solve it. So now that we've put down the shield, we're no longer trying to protect ourselves by listing all of the features or all of the credentials. And instead, we start stepping into the discussion of feelings and emotions. How do you select which feelings and emotions that you want to talk about? The first thing you need to do is take on the role of detective, not inventor. So you cannot sit in a quiet room and guess what your ideal customer is thinking or feeling. You cannot sit in front of your computer and ask AI, what are the pain points of my perfect client? Because your bias and AI's bias becomes your enemy. Instead, you need to play detective. you need to be searching for the exact words that your ideal customer is using to describe their problem, their pain, and their desires. Now, where should you go looking for these things? The first best place that you can look is by talking to a living, breathing human being, because the best data is going to come from interviewing people who fall in your ideal customer target audience, people that you haven't worked with yet. Now, the second best choice is going to be past clients who've already worked with you or clients who are working with you now. You're asking them to remember what it felt like, where they were at, what they were thinking, what they were saying before they started to work with you. Now, this can be tricky because memories are funny things. That's why asking current and past clients is only second best. But either way, whether you're talking to a potential client or at least someone who falls in that target audience genre, or if you're talking to a current or past client, when you talk to these people, you are only reporting what they are saying. You have to write down their exact words, not your interpretation of their words, not what you remember them saying. So it's great if you can record the conversation, but if not, make sure you are in that moment writing down the exact thing that they are saying. I understand that this can be very time consuming. So I'm going to tell you about 2 data gold mines that you might be sitting on right now as we speak. First is data that you have internally. I want you to go back and look at any intake forms that people filled out in the process of booking a call with you. There might be a questionnaire that you attach where you ask them what their biggest challenge is. And if so, this is a huge gold mine for you because this is them using their words, unfiltered, plain English. If you used a drop down, that one's a little more tricky. If you have some past sales calls that you have recorded, you can go back and listen to those and start pulling out those exact words that people are using to describe where they are now and the pain and emotions that they are feeling with it. It usually comes in that first 10 minutes of a sales call. Now, the second area where you might already have data is to find out where your ideal clients are spending time and talking about their pain. A great place to look is Amazon book reviews. If you can look at the top 5 to 6 reviews that talk about, for me, it would be marketing, sales, business strategy. For you, it might be real estate, lending, home remodeling, whatever it is. A lot of the 5-star reviews are going to be people talking about what this book helped them do. This book helped me feel this. It helped me do this. And then the 1-star reviews, or sometimes even the 3-star reviews, is people complaining because they didn't get the information they were seeking. I'm still overwhelmed. I'm still feeling this way. It was very disappointing because it didn't answer this question for me. In addition to Amazon book reviews, you can look at Reddit and Quora threads, also Facebook groups. Just go into all these places and just read what's there. You don't have to post your own question. You don't have to do any of that. Just see what's already written down. This can take 2 to 4 hours, and you can come out with a treasure trove of your ideal customers' real emotional words that they are using. So now that you've collected data, whether it's talking to actual human beings or reading posts that they have put out on the internet, Once you've collected how they are describing what they're feeling, what their problem is, then you just sort of take all of the data that you gathered and assemble it into a marketing message. You do it using a 3-part framework. Super simple. Part 1 is the before, where they're in pain. This is the stuff that a lot of businesses skip over, because before you can talk about yourself, you have to let people know that they're in the right place. So tell them, are you feeling this? Do you, wake up with this pain? Does this pain keep you up at night? You're basically letting them know that you read their diary and you know how they are feeling. So instead of saying we offer project management services, you say something like, are you feeling constantly overwhelmed? Like you're drowning in a sea of details and frustrated that you're the only one who knows what's going on. You're stuck in the weeds when it comes to leading your group. That person who feels that way and thinks those things are going to be, oh my gosh, she totally understands me. But when you start with, we can fix your project management problems, like, I don't know that you understand me. I don't know that you really understand where I'm coming from. So first, label the pain with emotions and feelings. 2, tell them that you understand where they want to go. Imagine saying, what would it feel like to end your day with a sense of calm and control? To know that your team is aligned and finally have the peace of mind to focus on the big picture that's going to move your business forward. So now you've created that tension between where you are now and where you want to be. So you said, I understand you're overwhelmed. And they're like, yes, I'm overwhelmed. And you tell them, I understand that you want to get to a place where you have complete peace of mind. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's me. I want to get there. The third part is you need to bridge that gap. Give them a simple path to get from where they are now to where they want to be. This is where you finally get to introduce your service. To introduce your service as the expert, not the star of the show, and give them a simple, clear path to getting from point A to point B. Now, obviously, this isn't going to get them there, but you're going to show that you have the knowledge to get them from point A to point B. Do not start with your features. Do not say, we have a 12-point proprietary method. We have an 8-step system. Instead, say, we have a simple 3-step plan. Number 1, book a call. Number 2, align your team. Number 3, celebrate your peace of mind. Now, obviously, we're going to go into details on these a little bit, but this is it. It's a 3-step plan. 1, 2, 3. And 3 is almost always, now you have success, right? When you do these things well, your marketing starts to feel like you're no longer shouting into the void, trying to impress people with all your credentials and all your experience. And instead, it starts to feel like you're just sitting down with someone and having a real conversation. And you're not just sitting down with anyone, you're sitting down with the exact right person, because the very first thing you do is tell them who they should be if they're going to continue this conversation. You're someone who's completely overwhelmed by your management system. Oh, that's me. I'm overwhelmed. Or no, that's not me. I'm moving on. So you know, once they get past that first sentence, that they're the right person. You tell them that you see them, you understand what they want to get to, and then you let them know that you can help them get there, not your credentials, not your experience. You have a simple plan. And all they have to do is take this first step. This is far more complex than any 15 or 20-minute podcast can really dig into. And I know that this was a lot, and I went through it so quickly. But I've done something just for you. I've taken this framework from the permission slip to stop hiding behind your features, to do the detective work, and to build your own pain solution bridge. And I've put it all into a free workbook. It's called the Free Message Clarity Guide. Now, this will walk you step by step through finding your customer's pain language and building that bridge that connects the pain to the solution so that you can finally get your marketing message right. You can download it using the link in the show notes. And if you're ready for a challenge this week, I have a simple one for you. Take 15 minutes and do some of your own detective work. Go look at your onboarding forms. Go read some Amazon reviews. Jump on some Facebook groups. Find out the exact words that your target market is using to describe their pain. That language that they use that talks about emotions and feelings, a phrase, it's something that you are not using now in your marketing and can start adding into it. Write down these words, feelings, phrases, and that is the first step to building your pain solution bridge. Until next week, keep leading with integrity, serving with heart, and please stop selling your features and your credentials and instead step into your own limitless impact. I'm Jennifer Swineford.